All right, I noticed this video online was a little jumpy, so I'm going to try to make a good replacement of it. And we're going to do elimination to solve this. I would like to show you that there's a couple rules. When you're doing elimination, you can add or subtract any equation by, or sorry, multiply or divide any equation by any number at all. I could take this whole equation, multiply by 2 if I wanted to. And then you can add or subtract any two equations. And our goal was to get down to just one variable and then use that variable to discover all the other variables. So I've also labeled these equations 1, 2, and 3. And I'm noticing that they've all got a leading coefficient of 1 on this x. So that's probably the way to go, to remove x first. So for step 1, I'm going to take the opposite of equation 1 and I'm going to add that to equation 2. So here I go. First, the opposite of this. That's the opposite of every single one of those. So negative x minus 2y minus 3z equals negative 9. I've just multiplied the whole first equation by negative 1. I'm going to add that to the second equation, which is x plus 3y plus 2z. And I get a bad habit of not wanting to write my z's. All right, equals 5. And when I add these guys together, my x's cancel out. Looks like I have a y minus z equals negative 4. I'm going to call this my new equation 4 right here. Let's box that up and say we're done with step 2. All right, I'm going to keep going with step 2. All right, and we're now going to do the same thing to this equation. We're going to take 1 and use it to remove the x variable from equation 3. So I'm going to take the opposite of equation 1, and I'm going to add that to, well, now we're going to add that to equation 3. So the opposite of equation 1 hasn't changed. All right, it is still the same. I'm going to actually pull back a little bit so we can see this a little better. Autofocus. A little better. All right. So it is still negative x minus 2y minus 3z equals negative 9. And equation 3 on this is a positive x plus 4y minus z equals, in this case, negative 5. I'm going to add these guys up, and the x's again cancel out. I've got 2y, I've got a negative 4z, and I have negative 14. And this is going to be our new equation 5. But you know what else I can do? Let's do one more thing. All right, let's go ahead and divide everything in here by 2. So I'm going to divide this all by 2, or we could say multiply by 1/2. Which gives me y minus 2z equals negative 7. Now this I'm going to call my new equation 5, and we're getting where we need to be. All right, I'm going to come over here for step 3. And for step 3, we got to remove one of these other variables. So I notice my y's are the same, so to get rid of it, I'm going to have to maybe take equation 4. I'm going to take the opposite of equation 4, and I'm going to add that to equation 5. And we'll see what happens. All right, so the opposite of this is negative y plus z equals 4. I add that to this, which is y minus 2z equals negative 7. And it looks like we're going to get a solution for z. All right, my y's cancel out. I get negative z equals negative 3, or z equals 3. I'm going to circle it. All right, and then I'm going to take this z and plug it in here. Or maybe even here. It doesn't matter which one. Let's plug it in this one. So we're going to plug it into equation 4. Now I'm going to say sub z equals 3 into equation 4. So here we go. So I've got y minus 3 equals negative 4, and that's plugging that z into this equation right here. And that gives us y equals negative 1. So we have another step done. And look, we've got z and y. We just need x. So our last one is going to be the sub z equals 3 and y equals negative 1 into, let's do equation 1. That looks nice and easy, equation 1. So I'm going to say x, right? Let's make sure we have enough room, and we'll zoom out just a little bit so you can see the whole thing. We're going to say x plus, well, that's 2 times y, which is 2 times negative 1, plus 3 times z, which is 3 times 3, equals 9, which gives me x minus 2 plus 9 equals 9. Let's keep going. Add these guys, we get x plus 7 equals 9. We got x equals 2 if I subtract, and I have a solution, which I'm going to write in here. So my solution is going to be xyz, which is going to be 2 comma negative 1 comma 3. And I'm going to do one more for you, and we'll talk to you soon.